Happy Wednesday. This is so exciting. I can't believe we're already halfway through the week. It's insane. So, as I was saying yesterday, we're going to be talking about transparency and financial transparency today, and I'm really excited about it. Because I don't think we see a lot necessarily of financial transparency in the industry. I'm just going to turn the light on because it looks like I'm, in the dark. So I want to talk about financial transparency. I think it's really important that we kind of understand where money actually comes from. I'm just going to prop you guys up on something that's a little more stable than my day planner, because that has a tendency to fall over. Okay. Oops. There we go. You'd have thought I'd have come prepared for this, wouldn't you? So, here we go. Let's prop you up over here. If you're around, say hi. I'm going to be going through the figures, and I basically want to get some feedback from you guys on what you actually want to see, and what you want to know about financial transparency, because I know that there have been some questions recently around what does it look like to make six figures, what does it look like. Hey Carmen, yay! Carmen's like my mind twin. I literally just put your comment about you being my mind twin, so I'm super excited that you're on live. That's so cool. Yeah, so there's been a few questions recently around financial transparency, and what I wanted to do was actually go through my figures for this month, and what they kind of look like already. Hey Lorraine. If you make me laugh, that's fine. If you make me snort, it's like seriously unattractive and hilarious. I can't even think about it because then I'll just do it and it will just be so weird. So, in terms of what we're going to kind of cover off today, what I'm thinking is I'm going to share, hey Sarah, that's so cool. Please tell me you're joining live from Madrid, because that's awesome. Sarah is moving to Madrid, everybody. I'm just telling everybody for you. I'm really excited and I'm hoping to go on holiday. So, anytime you want to invite me to visit, no worries, I'll be there. But yeah, so today I kind of wanted to show you how I track my finances. It's all very basic, I'm a pen and paper kind of girl. June 22nd. Expect me over in July. After the 6th, because that's Sam's birthday, so I can't go then, but after then we're good. So what I'm going to kind of cover today is what my finances look like, and be kind of honest about what actually comes in and what goes out, and what that means in terms of profit and expenses, okay? So, yay Jane, I'm super glad you're here. So this is going to be awesome. What I'm going to do, I've decided to do it for this month so far, because for me it really hacks me off when people are like, yeah, this is how I made 70 grand in a month or something, and I'm like, oh god, there's no way I'm going to make 70 grand this month. So what I try and do is be really honest and open about what my financial kind of goals look like for the year and things like that, and then if you guys have questions, ask away. Like, this is your time to kind of get to know everything, either about my finances, if that's what you want to know, or, how to plan out your own finances. So, what I'm just going to go through quickly is how I actually set my own budgets. And I've got everything here, so if I'm not looking at you, it's just because I'm looking at the stuff that I've prepared for this live stream. So, in terms of planning out, and being a six-figure business owner, there are certain things that you need to know, and I know that a lot of us talk very regularly about setting financial goals and actually hitting them, and sticking to a plan and things, but actually that can be really difficult when you don't know what you're aiming for. So what I always encourage people to do is actually to find out what their time is actually worth. Because once you know what your time is worth, you can start investing in things that are going to save you time and therefore actually make you a profit immediately. Now, it might not sound like that at first, okay? And obviously, if you're going to go out and spend money on a VA and a cleaner and a chauffeur and a chef, which I totally want because I'm crap at cooking, then yes, your outgoings are going to be very, very high. However, if your time is actually worth, and I'm going to go through this with you in a second, £30 an hour, £40 an hour, £50 an hour, £100 an hour, whatever that might be, depending on your financial goal, actually sometimes those investments can make sense. So what I'm encouraging people to do is invest wisely Hey Anushka, you're not late, I promise you. I've literally just started. I'm just going to get into the good stuff, so you're here for all the good bits. So what I'm encouraging people to do is actually invest wisely in terms of their time and their money in their business, okay? And that's why I'm going to go through my finances and show you what I made and actually show you how little it has cost me, because I know that we see lots and lots of posts around, I made 40 grand and I paid 20 grand for a VA or whatever it might be. That's not what I've done in my business. It's not what you have to do. And in fact, if you've kind of seen me and Susan Kate launching recently, we've been launching the SaaS Business Academy over the last couple of weeks. We've actually we've had a 20k launch in 2 weeks for free. So we've used all free resources. And we've actually just launched a PDF on that, and it's kind of gone out into one group, and we've had about 200 signups. So for the PDF. So if you want to know anything about that launch, please feel free to ask during this kind of live stream, because I want to make sure that you guys get as much info as possible. So the first thing is, when we're looking at what we want to earn this year, and everybody says 6 figures. I get a lot of people go, I want to earn 6 figures, and I'm like, okay, fine. It doesn't matter. First off, it doesn't matter what you want to earn. I don't care if you want to earn 20 grand, 40 grand, 50 grand, 60 grand, 100 grand, 700 grand, $1 million, whatever. The point is, you actually need to know and understand how that money is coming in and what that actually looks like on a financial level. So one of the things that you need to understand is, if you want to bring in a certain amount of money, yay, Tara, you're here. This is so cool. It's the best day ever. I'll send you the PDF. I'm just going to move something a bit more comfy. So, in terms of how much money you want to earn, let's go with 100 grand, because it's a nice round number, and people love the kind of, I want to make 6 figures. So, let's say you want to bring in 100 grand this year. Now, without taxes, because obviously everybody seems to forget that we pay between 20 and 40% tax. You need to understand what your monthly income needs to look like, your weekly income, your daily income, your hourly income, and then understand what your minutes are worth. And that actually keeps you pretty motivated to move forward with building up your finances. So let's say you want to make 100 grand this year, okay? Divide it by 12 and you'll get your monthly income. And if you want to make $100,000 this year, or pounds, euros, whatever, you need to be making $8,333 a month. Okay, that's quite a big number, and for some people that's like, I'm not really sure that I could hit 8,500, consistently. So let's look at what you have to be doing on a week-by-week basis. You would need to be making $2,083 a week. You would need to be making $416 a day, $52 an hour, or $8.60 a minute, okay? Now, when you look at it like that, and you think, okay, well, let's say 6 hours of the day I'm sleeping, 4 hours of the day I'm, having family time, looking after children, doing all that kind of really good stuff that's important, to actually have a life around your business. Let's look at where that actually comes from, So you actually only have, let's say, 40 hours a week that you really want to be working on business. You don't want to be working 24/7 on it. So make sure that when you're actually looking at these goals and you're thinking, okay, I want to make 100,000 a year and I need to be making 2,833 or 2,083 pounds a week, you need to be thinking, okay, where is that money coming from? Are my offers in alignment with the amount of money that I'm expecting to come in? So if you are doing, let's say, if you've got low ticket offers, breaking it down like that makes you sound like a ninja. Thank you. I'm actually so tempted to do that little hand flick thing, but I'm so lame that I can't do it. So I'm really glad that I just humiliated myself. But yeah, so let's look at how we can break it down, okay? Now, if you've got a lower ticket offer, something under $1,000, it's going to take you a lot more time, unless you have something that's automated, to hit that 100k year. The reason being that if it's not automated and you're selling things that, let's say, $300, $400, $500, you're going to have to be working and working and working much more hours. Whereas if you create an online course or something and you sell that for $300 or $400, you're fine because it's on automation, much easier to run, and it's actually, apart from the initial commitment of setting up the work and getting things done, actually a lot easier for you to manage. You can simply continue to drive traffic, make sure that people are hitting your landing pages, going into your funnel, and actually starting that course. Hey Vicky, you're live. This is so cool because Vicky's actually in Australia, so that's awesome. People think they have a revenue problem, but you need to reverse engineer the revenue to see the real problem. Yes, that's exactly it. You know, what we're seeing are lots of people who want to make six figures, but can't quite get there, because actually when you look at six figures and say you're selling something that's like $10,000, it's like, oh yeah, sure, I'll just sell 10 of those. You know, no worries. But actually a lot of people aren't, and the problem is that if we don't reverse engineer that process from 100,000 backwards, we can't actually see what we need to be doing every single day to make that money. So that's the kind of basic for let's planning out your financial kind of gains and what you need to be doing each day and each week in terms of revenue. But what does that look like in terms of what you actually need to be doing each day? Because what happens, or what tends to happen, is that actually when we're looking at financial goals, people go, yeah, I want to make 100 grand and I'll just sell X amount of programs over the year. And usually it's quite a small number. If you're somebody with a high ticket offering, say $5,000 to $10,000, actually the number of them that you have to sell isn't that many to make $100,000, but the process is actually pretty difficult for people because we get so caught up in all the stuff that we think we have to do. I'm so glad. Yay, I'm glad it's your favourite exercise. Sarah, there's a difference between low, mid, and high items. Exactly. There is a really big difference. And so, you know, in terms of what I would do, and I'll cover this in a bit more detail later, but what I would do with a low ticket item or even a mid, so we're talking anywhere under $1,000, I would automate that funnel. You know, and what I do is I would make sure that I was driving traffic to that funnel, building a relationship with those people via that funnel. So, you know, you could have something like a landing page, to a webinar, to value add, and then you kind of pick, and that just takes them through while you're focusing on the high ticket stuff, you know, the stuff that's $5,000 and above. I used to think that selling very low-end items was the best everyone's going to buy. Totally not a facepalm moment. We've all been there. You know, I've sold stuff, or I've been out there and been like, yeah, I've got stuff that's low ticket, please buy it, and nobody does, because it's one of those things that they're like, oh, well, you know, I might just lose another $50 or I might lose $100. So don't worry about it if that's what you're doing. And believe me, there is a huge market out there for low ticket items. Okay, there is a huge market, but do not waste time focusing on actually going out there and doing decision calls or discovery calls for those items, because that's not monetizing your time. That's not you making your $8 a minute. That's something that can be automated. Yeah, exactly like Tara just said, unless it's automated and passive, then you can just leave it and let it go. So in terms of what you actually need to be doing, the money-making activities, and this is what we're all interested in, right? The money-making activities you need to have in your business are things like planning and goal setting for the week. Now, I know it sounds really boring, and believe me, you know, I'm a schedule addict, but I get bored witless sitting down every week and I'm like, oh yeah, I've got to plan out my week, I've got to do my schedule, and But if I don't do it, I don't make any money. Because what happens is, oh, I want to fill your screen with hearts. You're so lovely. I'm just like, this is so cool. It's why I started mid-end stuff in Publishing House. Exactly. You know, mid-end is amazing. Oh, thank you for all the hearts. This is so cool. I paused myself there because for some reason my alarm went off. That is an alarm, by the way, that every day I have an alarm that says, am I being honest and filled with integrity and delivering massive value to my clients? So every day at 12:30, which is where it's coming up, it reminds me to be honest and full of integrity, so I really like that. But yeah, so every week you should be planning and goal setting. You should be working out how much money you want to make that week and where it's going to come from. And then you need to be thinking about the activities that are going to help you get to that point. Okay, so what kind of activities can you be doing each day that are actually client generating or money making activities? It's pretty simple. And you know, guys, I promise you, this isn't rocket science. I'm not giving you stuff here that you need to do lots and lots of things on. But, you know, let's think about your core content. Are you creating core content for things like webinars? Are you creating things like telesummits or, you know, teleclasses, masterclasses where people can learn about you and build a relationship with you? You know, are you doing that? How are you adding value? You know, what are you doing with engaging on social media? One of the things that I sit down on a Monday and do is actually plan out all of my social media posts and repurpose my content so that for the rest of the week, I'm not kind of sat there going, gotta find an inspirational Facebook post to write, because I sit there on a Thursday afternoon and thinking, wow, inspiration on a Thursday, got nothing, you know. So plan that out, work out, okay, what am I doing on social media this week? What kind of core content am I putting out there to build value and add value and build relationships with my community? You know, think about how you're growing your list. What kind of things are you doing? Are you offering something free? Are you offering a major value add? Are you offering free strategy sessions? You know, if any of you guys did the Block Book Challenge, you'll know that we were talking about strategy sessions and free assessments and things like that. How are you getting people into your funnel? And also think about the responsibility that you have each week to your actual clients. You know, so things like, when are you conducting your client coaching sessions? When are you marking clients' homework? When are you actually going and over-delivering to those clients? You know, what are you doing to make sure that they're really enjoying their experience with you and that you're really enhancing them and how they get their results? So a few of the basics that I would say you cannot go without each week in terms of being able to make money. And this is not the fluffy stuff, you know, this is not the kind of stuff that we all really like but don't actually make us money. So this is not things like decorating your website or, you know, making sure that you kind of have written like 20 social media posts each day and you're in there and that you're on all the threads and stuff. The things that you need to be doing each week and scheduling in to monetize your business are making sure that you plan and goal set, making sure you're engaging on social media. So 15 minutes 3 times a day is more than enough to actually be making money. You don't need to be hanging out on Facebook all day long, I promise you, especially if you create content in advance. Obviously you need to be creating content, value add content. Now that can either be for your social media, it can be for total value add, so things like webinars, preview calls, teleclasses, masterclasses. If you're delivering training to somebody else's course, you need to be planning the content for those and making sure that it's really, really good so that people are super bought in and so you're building those relationships as you go along. You also need to make sure that you've got time. I'm guilty of spending months tweaking boxes on your website. We've all been there. I do it all the time. Embarrassingly, that's why I'm laughing, because that's me. You need to make time for client coaching sessions. You also need to make time for booking and discovery calls. You know, how many of us have been like, oh, I know I book discovery calls, but you've got no space in your diary for them because it's constantly full of like, oh yeah, I'll just go and tweak the website, or I'll go and make another graphic, or do this and the other. You know, you need to be making time for creating valuable content or free content that's going to help grow your list, and you need to spend time nurturing your list. You know, you need to be spending time each week talking to your list, engaging with them, asking them questions, doing market research, giving them some love, you know, just making them feel like they know you and that they like you and that they love you and that they're like, yeah, I want to be part of Tara's tribe or Karma's tribe or Sarah's tribe. You know, this is the thing. You are engaging with them, and you should be engaging with them like an actual human, okay? So you need to be doing those things. You also need to be actually measuring your results. Now, I know that sounds really weird. Love it, Tara. You haven't looked at your website in months. I haven't either. Someone said to me the other day, your offers don't look like anything like they usually do. And I'm like, yeah, no, I know. But you need to be measuring those results. You know, if you're if you're one of those people who goes, you know what, I've got this post on Facebook and only 2 people liked it, do you know what, likes and shares, they don't make you money. Okay, I don't care what anybody says. Likes, comments, shares do not make you money. What makes you money is relationship building, smart marketing in terms of working smart, not necessarily all over the place all the time, being an expert in your field, and creating really, really strong, valuable content that you can repurpose that makes your audience see exactly what you should be doing, okay, and why they should be working with you. So those are the sorts of things that you should be doing. Exactly, what gets measured gets improved. Couldn't have said it better. The other thing that you need to be thinking about is, do you need to be delegating anything? Now, I know that Tara recently ran a really cool challenge on basically the art of leadership, and a big thing that came up for me on that was delegation and understanding where there were things that I was wasting my time on I really didn't need to be. And so actually spending $30 an hour or so on a VA to create graphics or to make a landing page or to, you know, do all the techie stuff, video editing or whatever, saved me more money and actually made me more money than spending time at 2 a.m. trying to work it out for myself. Okay, so I know that when you start out your business, and even now I'm like, oh gosh, you know, do I really want to pay a VA $300 a month, $400 a month? You're welcome. I always shout you out. I love you. I shouted you out on the one yesterday as well because you're just freaking amazing. But you know, I know that it's hard to think about that. But if you have things that you can't do, that you're wasting your time on, much better to invest that money on someone that can actually do them, get it done quickly and get it out into the public domain to be making you those relationships with clients and getting you clients, than wasting your time trying to do it, getting really stressed and not doing the things that you should actually be focusing on. Vicky, my problem is that I've got onto over 30 Facebook groups and love most of them. Now I don't know which ones to drop. Okay, that's amazing. So Facebook groups are a total time suck. I'm all over that. I know exactly how you feel. What I would do is I would turn off the notifications for all of them, and then you can choose which ones you go in and visit on a daily basis. Make yourself a little social media scheduler. If you don't have one, I have one. It's actually in the Sellout Success group as well, where you can see which groups you've posted on, what you've posted into there, and how you've engaged. So you can do it that way if you like. But like I say, 15 minutes, 3 times a day, more than enough time for engagement. Show up and support in the morning, show up and share in the afternoon, and show up and sell in the evenings. And that way you've kind of covered your bases. 30 groups, yeah, it makes my head hurt too. Okay, good. So that's what we need to be doing. We need to be focusing on the money-making activities, and you know, they are the ones that focus anything around building relationships, getting clients into your funnel, or actually just getting on the phone, having conversations with clients, okay? That's what we need to be doing. So I want you to think about the schedule that you need to have for that. Now, I'm a real scheduler. I'm somebody that really likes to schedule. I know that I've posted a couple of times my schedule on this group, but for example, here's what a typical day for me looks like. So a Monday for me is a content creation day, and what will usually happen is around 7, I'll wake up, I'll kind of get up, have a wander around, you know, walk the dog, have a shower, do all that kind of cool stuff, because, you know, I do wash. I don't just sit at home and kind of like do nothing in the mornings, even though coffee is my absolute best friend early in the morning. I don't check my emails until 10 o'clock. That for me is because that kind of morning time is pretty sacred, in that I need to make sure that I've taken care of myself and the dog and got up, I'm awake, I'm able to actually have a human conversation with people, and you know, my brain's kind of into gear. And so that's sort of time that I use between 7 and 10 for exercise, for self-care, to make sure that I've planned my day. Now on a Monday, I'll spend about an hour and a half in the morning. Thank you for washing, we appreciate it. Hey, I've just washed my hair and dried it before this. And yes, Lorraine, you are meant to fit in the shower too. Otherwise you can never come and visit, because I just, you know, it would scare me. Yes, early birds, love an early bird. So I'll spend about 90 minutes on a Monday planning out my week. You know, That's because I've got it down to an art. I know every week I'm going to have to write a blog post, and I'm going to have to create, social media posts, and I'm going to have to do some Facebook Lives, and I'm going to have to add some value, and I have to maybe do a webinar or something like that. So, I've got that. It might take you longer in the beginning. Don't worry about that. Don't stress about that time, because that time is really well used, because once you've planned it out, you can get shit done, yeah? So that takes me up until 11:30. Then from 11:30 till about 12:30, that's when I'll write out my newsletters for that week. Okay, so I'll sit there and I'll be like, right, okay, newsletters or solo mailers. And I'm loving all these little things on the screen, they're amazing. So that's when I'll write out my newsletters, and that's when I'll sort of give value in extra ways to people that are on my list. I might send them something free, I might send them a cool guide, I might send them a story about how my week's going and how my showers are going, or something like that, making sure they know what to do. But ideally you want to have a couple of newsletters, at least one newsletter and one solo mailer a week, just to make sure that you're in touch with people, and that that they feel like you're having a touch point with them, you're building that relationship for them. So I'll do that. Then I'll have lunch, because I'm a total foodie, so 12:30 till about 1 o'clock, 1:15, I'll have lunch. I'll sit away from my desk, ideally, so that unless I've got something to catch up on iPlayer, in which case I'll watch that and eat my lunch. But I will make time for lunch, because otherwise I forget, and I'll go through till 5 o'clock and be like, oh, I didn't eat. So yes, in my schedule, I'm that sad that I have things like lunch scheduled in. After lunch, that's on a Monday, because this is my content creation day. I don't have any clients on a Monday or anything like that. That's when I'll do my social media plan. Okay, so I'll write out my social media content for the week. I'll think about what I'm actually producing, what I'm going to be putting out there, and I'll start to repurpose that content and make sure that it gives massive value, and that it's got clear calls to action, that it's going to build relationships with people quickly. After I've done that, I'll usually think about what kind of value add I'm doing that week. Yeah, exactly. Ease is critical. I don't want to work 24/7. If I wanted to do that, I'd go back to corporate, and I don't want to go there. So, when you're doing your schedule, make sure it is easy. Make sure it's actually realistic. Don't feel like you have to create a schedule. Don't worry about that kind of stuff. Just make sure you do what is right for you, okay? So then I think about what kind of value I'm adding that week. Am I doing a teleclass? Am I doing a webinar? And I will write the copy for that if I need to. So I will do any slides that I need to. I will, do the kind of outline of it. I'll think about any offers that I might be making, and I'll write the copy for that. And then the sales sequence, because weirdly enough, that's the bit that everybody forgets when they're doing a value add. They forget that they need to actually sell the stuff afterwards. And I know that amazing people, and Carmen is one of these people. Carmen saying is flipping fantastic at doing webinars and making money on the webinar on the pitch. When you're new to webinars, that doesn't always happen for you, and sometimes you need to have an email sequence afterwards to make sure that people buy. So you need to think about writing out that copy, making sure it's all done, so that if you do a webinar on like a Wednesday, you bung it all into ActiveCampaign or ClickFunnels or MailChimp, whatever you've got, and you can just let it go, let it run after your webinar. No, you can't force creativity. Absolutely not. Schedule it in, yeah, absolutely, get it done. But there is no point in working 24/7. It doesn't make you any more creative. It just makes you stressed and unfun, which isn't a word. Anushka, I'm such an overscheduler. Normal. Absolutely normal. What you have to do, don't worry about being an overscheduler. Worry about whether you are doing the activities that are going to get you money. Okay? All you need to be doing, you don't need to worry about and I know that some people have really different schedules, and people have very different work to do, but just think, is this making me money? If it's not making you money, don't put it on your schedule. That's literally how I work it. If it's not making you money, if it's not helping you in terms of self-care and actually having a life outside your business, it doesn't need to go on your schedule. If it's just one of those little, I must go to the shop and all that kind of stuff. Yay, Tara! Love you too, and I will catch up with you later. I will WhatsApp you. Just because I'm too lazy to write a long post, webinar presentation is much easier for me. Yeah, comment, exactly. And your webinars are awesome. So, if anybody is looking at learning about webinars, definitely hit Carmen up, because she's well on that kind of thing. So write a sales copy, make sure that's all done, and then I'll have dinner, because by this time it's probably like 7 o'clock, so I'm like, yeah, okay, I'll eat then, because I love biscuits, and anything really. So I'll have some dinner and then I'll actually do my homework for the week. So what happens? Hey Sam, nice to see you. This is so cool. Everybody's on this morning. It's great. I'm going to keep this time as like a regular live stream. So then what happens is I do my homework. I'm always investing in learning and development myself. So I'm always in coaching. I'm always in coaching programs, different kind of things that I need to learn. And I'll set aside an hour every evening to do my homework. So if you're in a coaching program and you're like, oh, I don't have time to do the work that my coach set me, I'm going to call you out right now. That's a lie. Everybody has half an hour or an hour that they can fit in somewhere in the day. And if you schedule right and you do everything properly, then you absolutely can. The day looks like for me. And then a client day, I will have client time literally from about 10 a.m. in the morning right through to about 5 a.m. in the evening. So that's kind of what it looks like. You don't like to write, but going on camera, you're learning after your camera phobia of 25 years. Do you know what, Anushka? I think you'd be flipping amazing on camera. So if you're worried about it, let me know. You can always pop in a Skype chat and you can practice with me on Skype if you like. You know, you can just turn your camera on and get used to it. And then we can kind of build up your confidence together. Or talk to Diana Rickman, who is flipping amazing. She runs some EFT tapping sessions on improving visibility. And you know how you can get over your fears and stuff. So if you reach out to her, she's really lovely, or reach to me and we can work through that together on Skype. Carmen, have a regular time to learn and read and grow. Yeah, exactly, because otherwise we buy so much stuff that we don't use. You know, last year I made a post and I was like, oh my god, I spent $12,000 in online courses that I didn't complete, like just didn't complete because I didn't make time in my day to do them because I was always so busy doing other things, you know, and it was actually just that I hadn't scheduled them in and that I hadn't made the time there for it. Oh, Vicky, I hope your husband's all right. If you need anything, like, give me a shout if there's anything we can do. So yeah, just think about in your day what you are actually doing to monetize your day and monetize your schedule. Okay, that's what I want you to keep thinking about. So after you've done all of that, now you've heard about how to schedule it out and how to kind of set your own goals, you do need to think about things like 90-day goals. I'm not going to go into those today because we've covered quite a lot of kind of information already on scheduling, but I will do one on actually planning out quarterly based goals because that is really important and will help you kind of keep track of your sales and how you're getting towards your goals and how you get up and things like that. The other thing I want to focus on today is what your business model actually looks like. Because a lot of people say to me, okay, well, I want to make 100k, and I'm like, cool, so where's that going to come from in terms of your business model? Okay, now what I mean from that is that you might have revenues coming from lots of different streams. Now, that, for example, could be one-on-one coaching streams. You could have a high-ticket one-on-one offer. It also could be a group program. You know, you might have a percentage of your income coming from a group program. You might have a percentage of your income coming from day intensives, or you might have a percentage of your income coming from online courses and things like that. I'm just going to take a drink. But yeah, so I want you to think when you're planning out your week and when you're thinking about the money you want to be earning each year, where is that money actually coming from and what does that look like? So for me, for example, last year my business model was very much about one-on-one coaching, and so what that meant was that actually about 75% of my revenue came from one-on-one coaching, which when you have a six-figure business is a really short-sighted model, unless you're charging, you know, $40,000 for your coaching, your 3-month coaching package. Actually, it's a lot of hard work, okay, to do the majority one-on-one. So you might want to think about diversifying your income streams. You know, do you have a passive income product? Last year, one of the big things that I did was I had obviously 75% of my income was coming from one-on-one coaching, and then I had about 10% coming from group coaching programs. You know, I run masterminds and things like that. And then the rest of the income, that 20% was mixed up between actually online courses that I was running as self-studies, and then kind of like one-off day intensives, workshops, that kind of stuff. Okay, so just think about where that money is coming from. My model this year is very different. Obviously, I'm part of a couple of joint ventures which are pretty big. So my model this year is actually more from group programs, high touch group programs, then from one-on-one coaching, then from one-off workshops, and then from something exciting. I'm actually launching a membership site, which is going to be super cool, but I haven't told anybody about it yet, so shh. But yeah, so that's what you want to be thinking about, is where is that income actually coming from? Great point. You know, you don't actually need to show your face on webinars. You can use presentations. That's really good. And you could also then use a really good photo of yourself, which I should totally do that sometimes. Jane, how many clients should I be looking at having in my coaching program, then make up my money goals with passive income products? Totally depends on what you want to earn, how much your coaching program is, and then how much your passive income products are. So make sure you think, and like I've been saying, is make sure you think, okay, if you want to make 100k and you want 70% of that income to come through one-on-one coaching, you need to be working out your figures on that. Carmen, I think we're going to the same thing. I want to tone down my one-on-one, up the other passive. Yeah, exactly. And I think it's one of those things. You kind of get to a stage in your business where you grow and you expand. And for me, I love one-on-one coaching. I really, really do. I will never, ever leave it totally, because I love working with people one-on-one, and it lights me up to see them do really well. But at the same time, my goal for this year was to help 1,000 women. And I can't do that just one-on-one, because otherwise I would never sleep. And I'm someone that needs my sleep. So for me, it was like, okay, well, how can I actually help 1,000 women this year? What can I do? What kind of things can I put in place? And so that's why for me this year the focus is a lot more on high touch group programs and high touch, membership sites and self-studying and things like that, passive income and diversification of my revenue streams, so I can make sure that I'm helping as many people as possible and giving people the opportunity to, really get those results in a good way. So really just think about that, and think about where that revenue is coming from, where you want it to come from, and what you actually want it to do for your business. Okay, so just have a think about that when you are doing your finances. And now I am going to talk about my finances and what they look like, and be kind of transparent about that. So I'm going to talk about this month so far. Here's my monthly tracker for me. It's all very cool. Very high tech, as you can see. I do actually have this on an Excel spreadsheet, but I couldn't be bothered to hold my phone up and so that you can see the screen, because it goes all flashy and stuff. So my money tracker for May, and this is May so far. So my goal for May is actually lower than usual. One of the reasons, because actually I've got quite a lot of content creation and things going on that are being generated in the back end of my business, so I had to allocate a lot of time to those and making sure that I created stuff of value. So my financial goal for May was $20,000, which by anyone's £20,000. Sorry, I do actually count my own revenue in pounds, and even though I charge in dollars, so I'll do it all in pounds and dollars so you can see how that works out. So in terms of how I actually look at my financial income, what I count as revenue, so revenue for me is anything that is booked and in the bank. Okay, so what I'm talking about today, the money that I've earned, and the figures that I'm sharing with you today, is money that is already in the bank. If there is any forward revenue, so revenue that is not in my bank account yet but is contracted from, say, residual clients, retained clients, or anything that is kind of forward revenue that I know is definitely coming in, I will tell you that as well. So I will make sure I clarify on those things for you, because what I don't want to do is confuse anybody with those numbers. So first off, this month I have, here we go, and I've written this across a few different pages, so you might have to bear with me on this. So this month we are on, I don't know, what's the date today? Does anybody know what the date is? I don't know. I think it's like the 11th, isn't it? Okay, so we're on the 11th. So I write down every day what I've earned each day. I'm a big fan of money tracking, and so for me we're on the 11th of May, and my business in the last 11 days has banked I'll catch you later, Anushka. Like I say, if you need anything, please just give me a shout. You know, if you want to go through the video stuff, let me know. I'm more than happy to help. Okay, so in the last 11 days, I've banked 4,421 English pounds, which is 6,325.5 US dollars. Okay, so in terms of my £20,000 goal, actually, it's not too far off, because we look at the month of May, we've got 30 days in May. I'm 11 days in, I've already made $6,000, okay, or £4,000. So if I times that by the rest of the month, so if I look at it, I've got, okay, a third of the month to go, then actually I'm doing pretty well with that financial goal at the moment. So all I need to do is make another £16,000 and I'm away. Now, some of you might think, okay, well, why is your financial goal so high? Simple reason, because everybody here knows that I hang out in jeans and flip-flops, is that I actually donate 50% of my revenue to charity. So out of that £20,000, £10,000 of that immediately goes to charities that I support in the UK and in other areas of the world. So that's not revenue that I actually use for my lifestyle at all. That's revenue that is banked and that goes straight to charity to kind of help other people, okay? So in terms of my revenue goal, obviously, I've got £16,541 to go, which is fine. You know, that's not really an issue. And what that means for my business is that the contracted or the forward revenue that I have, so let's look at where this, first of all, where this £4,000 or $6,000 has come from, okay? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, so I've had 11 payments this month that have come from a mix of, could you possibly be more awesome? Oh, thank you. I'm assuming that's the charity thing. I love charity. I love giving to charity. It's just really important to me. But yeah, so 11 payments this month, and that's been made up of a few things. So me and Susan have obviously launched the SaaS Business Academy. We had 20k launch for that, which is awesome. Now that actually people, we've offered installment payments on that, and we actually, you know, will be both taking a cut and reinvesting money back into how we over deliver on that program, the tools and things that we'll be using to deliver SaaS and all that kind of stuff. So that money hasn't really come from the SaaS Academy as it stands right now. Where it has come from are things like case study clients, are things like one-on-one coaching clients, are things like retained kind of payments from that people have been paying from last month, and self-study courses, you know, things that people are running or doing, or passive income products. So I have a range of passive income products that you may or may not have seen. They range from about $17 up to $67. So that's where that income has come from. Now, in terms of forward revenue, so what you might be thinking is, okay, we've made $4 grand, that's great, but where's that 16 going to come from in the next 18, 19 days? Where's that revenue going to come from in the next 19 days? Well, it's pretty simple. Actually, you know, a lot of these, the payments that come in, other people are contracted, so I have contracted revenue booked from other retained clients that are due to be paid. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 retained clients that have fees that will be still paid this month, so that's pretty cool. Then I have a number of case study clients. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 case study clients that have also got fees to pay. You know, so that will take me to about, after all that is said and done, that's going to take me to about £10,781, okay, which is about $12,751, okay. So that's how that works out. I did all these currency conversions yesterday, so it might be a little bit out of date, okay. But anyway, that's kind of where we are. So to go from that £10,000 up to the £20,000 when I don't have that in contract revenue, that's fine, because what actually then I look at is projected revenue. So I look at things that I'm doing in terms of group programs that I'm running and people who've said they're going to sign up but haven't put the payment in yet. I look at the things that I'm promoting. Sorry, Jess, what a case study. So case study clients are people I'm running in case studies. Sell Out Success obviously was a case study I did started a couple of months ago, but I also have other case study clients that I'm running as joint venture programs and things like that. So people who are doing a case study to learn more about sales, for example. I hope that makes more sense. So they're basically one-on-one clients. Carmen. This is amazing. I love the conversation between Carmen and Anushka about lipstick. I'm like, this is amazing. I need to get the hang of lipstick, so I'm going to hit you guys up for tips afterwards. But yeah, so in terms of that projected revenue, that's going to come from group programs, and it's also going to come from the launches that I know that I'm kind of holding next week. So for example, those are things that I have beta tested that I already have wait lists for. Now those are things like the next round of Sell Out Success, which I need to obviously open up the payment gateways for and start accepting people into the program. They're for things like the membership site, which I'll be launching next week, and therefore things like the group programs that I'll be running with Susan and my own one-on-one programs and things like that. So that's actually where that revenue is going to come from. And what it looks like at the moment in terms of my banked income, I obviously have the 4,000. In terms of my contracted income, so my forward revenue that is expected into this month with retained clients and whatnot, that's going to be 10,000. What happens with projected revenue, so that revenue that I'm projecting from the group programs, from my wait list, from the launches that I've got planned and the expectation on those to take up, actually takes me to just over £20,000, which takes me to about £21,251.42. Okay, so I'm trying to be as specific as I can here with numbers, mainly because otherwise I understand how irritating it can be. Now, in terms of what I've actually paid out this month to enable me to make that $20,000, I'm not saying £20,000, sorry, which is about $22,000. I haven't really spent that much, I'll be honest. So my expenses sheet for May looks something like this. I have a VA who I paid, or have paid $150. I have an email autoresponder that I was paying $9. I literally just went down the ClickFunnels route, so I paid $997 so I can run the membership site and all the affiliation stuff and everything on the back end of that. And that's for a whole 6 months, so I'm covered for that. The next 6 months I won't have any kind of monthly outgoings on that. Okay, so that's what I've done in terms of the outgoings. The other things I have, so I'm just writing, doing the maths because I didn't have this one up for one reason or another. The other things I have are the scheduler, and what else do I pay for? My internet costs, and that is, and my own kind of learning and development, which I've already paid for. So I paid that in full a little bit ago. Lorraine, love that you got it down to the penny. That's what they always say in the money manifestation stuff. Yeah, exactly. It's about being specific with money. What do you want from it? Where are you putting it? Where is it kind of going? Someone once said, money flows where there is purpose, where purpose goes. What do you find works for you when it comes to promoting your programs or packages? Is it your list, personal connections, blabs, and other broadcasting? That's a really interesting question, actually. I find, in all honesty, that people make connections with me in different places. So I find that I get a lot of clients from social media. I find that I get a lot of recommended and referred clients. So I've been really, really fortunate recently. I've had some amazing clients who've done amazing things, and they've left really lovely testimonials for me, which has been amazing. And that obviously brings clients to the door. But it's actually usually about the value that I add and that I deliver. I get an awful lot of people that I've kind of helped with things, or that have gone through one of my webinars or one of my kind of value add sequences, and they will purchase from me then. So my funnel usually looks something like meeting them in social media, then going down into a value add sequence. Now that's either they kind of get direct help from me, so it's like almost an immediate one-on-one experience, or they go down the value add route into a more formal sequence, so something like a webinar or a masterclass, and then into a funnel from there, and that's when purchase. I usually tend to find that most people will not get into like a traditional buying cycle with me, and I know that there are lots of people who focus on funnels with the kind of introductory offer, then core offer, then high value offer. That doesn't tend to happen with me. What I tend to get is a lot of people come to me and they go, oh my god, your free stuff is so good that your paid stuff must be awesome. And so I tend to get a lot of people who will go straight in at a one-on-one package or go straight into a group package because they've seen the value that I deliver elsewhere. And then what will happen is that client will usually be what I call repeat business in the nicest possible way, and they will come back either through another group program, through a mastermind, to extend their learning further. Because obviously as you grow and as you develop, you're able to pass that knowledge on to your clients. Your clients are constantly learning and developing too, so it's pretty cool. In terms of promotion specifically, I'm a big fan of free promotion. It's very rare that I would do anything like Facebook ads. I'm going to start, I think, playing around with them, mainly because I've got a lot of clients that use them and I want to make sure that I'm kind of up to date. So I'm doing Addicted because I'm like super geek. I'm excited about that. But in terms of promoting my own work, it's actually pretty rare that I promote my own stuff. I get a lot of people who will talk about the things they're doing with me, which is awesome. But when I do it, I will use a really simple social media kind of way of doing it. So in the mornings, I will show up and share, I will show up and support, so I'll go into Facebook groups, I'll make sure I'm commenting on other people's threads, I'll help them, I'll make sure I'm offering advice and that it's relevant and it's not just kind of me. And then in the afternoon, I'll show up and share, so I'll share something of value. It might be a YouTube video, it might be a PDF from somebody else that's useful. It doesn't have to be my stuff, it just has to be something that is really, really helpful, delivers massive value, can help people with their kind of issues and experiences at that moment in time. And then in the evening, if I'm promoting anything, that's when I'll promote the hell out of it, because I'm like, yeah, it's awesome and I love it and I'm really excited about it. So, you know, at the moment, people are hearing me talk about the SaaS Academy, people are hearing me talk about sellout success. In the next week, people are going to be hearing me talk about all about the membership site, because that's just really cool and also really stressful. But, you know, it's those kinds of things. So for me, I'm really glad that you love it, but it's so simple. You know, for me, it is literally show up, deliver value, make sure that people are in the right funnel for them, either give them high touch contact and value with me, or, and that's directly, or put them into a high value funnel straight away with something that delivers massive value, like a webinar or a teleclass. I hope that answered that properly and not too much waffle. But yeah, so that's exactly what I do. And I mean, in terms of where the money comes out, you know, I'm spending $15 a month on a scheduler. I spend, I just paid out $997, that's quite a hefty amount in one go for ClickFunnels, but actually over the course of 6 months, it's a lot less than I would be paying for everything else, because it does landing pages, and it does membership site, and it does affiliate things, and all that kind of stuff that I would have had to pay out for separately anyway. And the internet, which is about £17, so about $20 a month. So actually, VA 150. So in terms of my outgoings this month, I've paid 1,000. I'm going to do the maths right here, so you're going to see my math skills live. Woo! So that's 12, 9, 5, 14, 16, 17, 18. 91. So I paid $1,182 this month in costs, and my projected revenue is £21,000. So for spending $1,182, which is about just under £1,000 to make 21, I'm okay with that. You know, if I was spending more, if I was like spending £5,000 or £6,000, would I be as happy? Potentially not, because it obviously eats your profit margin. And in terms of what happens with that money, because obviously, if I make £21,000, then that's great. But what do I then do with that? What kind of costs are incurred? Well, immediately I have to take out the £1,000 that I've spent on expenses. And then I also have to remember about taxes. You know, so tax in the UK is only taken off your profit. So let's do round numbers here. Let's say I make 21,000, I spend 1,000 on business expenses. That leaves me with £20,000 profit, which means that I then have to take my taxes out of that. At 30%, that's £6,000, which leaves £14,000. Now at that £14,000, what will happen is £7,000 will immediately go to charity, so that's absolutely great for them. They get £7,000 straight away, you know, and that's amazing, and I get the warm and fuzzies for that. And then the other £7,000, in all honesty, goes on my mortgage, it goes on bills, it goes on, you know, just silly things, well, not silly things, but life things, you know, it goes on things like taking my mum out for spa days, or, you know, making sure that me and Sam can buy wardrobes for £700 from IKEA. You know, it's that kind of stuff. So at the moment we're doing a lot of DIY, so we've bought a lot of furniture over the last few weeks, and we've got a lot of paint and things like that. So when you think about where that money's going, have a real purpose for it, you know, and that's why I wanted to be kind of honest and really open and transparent today about finances, because you need to understand that the money that people are making, if they're not making it with a load of profit, then obviously that's pretty challenging. But also you need to understand where they're planning for it to go, you know, how much of that is going to be spent on accountants, bookkeepers, VAs, taxes, you know, and kind of how much of that money is actually for fun stuff, you know, how much of that money isn't for bills, how much of it is just for, hey, I want to go out and buy a really nice pair of shoes, and I want to go out for a meal, and I want to go to the spa, and I want to go and do X, Y, Z, you know. So just make sure that when you are thinking about finances, and when you're thinking about your own finances, you budget the bills first, okay? And I know it sounds really boring, but it really will set you in good stead. Okay, amazing. That's so much information for everybody. I'm so sorry. How is that for everybody? Are there any questions about finances or about anything that I've covered in terms of scheduling or money making activities, anything at all? I'm gonna have a drink now because I'm like, Carmen, I just saw Carmen's card, I was like, oh my god, I'm dying. You'll have to get your number straight. Thanks for lighting the number under your bum. You are so welcome. Numbers are really good, you know, at the end of the day, know your numbers, and your business will never ever be difficult, because knowing, you know, having a really good relationship with the numbers in your business is a really good thing to do. Not even just because then you know where the money's coming from, but also so that you don't get into that situation where you think, oh god, you know, I thought I had this much money, but actually I don't. And, you know, just make sure you're thinking about things like any kind of credit repayments, debt repayments, household bills, all that kind of stuff, to make sure you've got all of that factored in, so you can make your numbers really simple for you, really easy for you, and work for you, you know. But if there's any questions, just shout. I'm like open, honest, talk about my finances. I'm not bothered about that. Talk about my costs, talk about what I'm launching, talk about marketing, promotion. You know, please feel free to always ask me any questions, because I'll always be honest with you guys. At the end of the day, that's why I have a group, because I would rather be honest with you guys than kind of just spray a load of information that people don't really necessarily understand all over the internet. Okay. Anything? No? Everybody's like, oh my god, I'm so tired. There's so much information, and for you guys that have stuck with me for the entirety of this, you've done so well, so thank you very much for hanging out with me for the last hour, because I know that some of you did it yesterday as well, so we're like super people over here. But like I say, I'm continuing this week because it is really important. Oh, I've frozen. Oh, that's awesome. I've just thrown a really unattractive position. But yeah, I'm running a series this week about everything in my business, about the behind the scenes stuff, about how I promote, about how I sell, about launches, things like that. So if you have questions, if you have specific topics you want me to cover, just let me know, because I'm happy to do that. Being honest with yourself about how many hours you need to write up the notes, send emails, create plans. Yeah, exactly. You know, be honest with yourself. You know, really be honest, and don't worry about it. Like, if it's going to take you 2 hours to write a blog, let it take you 2 hours. I'd rather you wrote a real blog that you can actually submit to Huffington Post and get some publicity on, than write a crap blog and not put it anywhere. Do you know what I mean? There's no point. The time that you spend actually doing stuff, the quality time, will bring you quality clients and more revenue. So absolutely plan out time to you, not to how somebody else says that you should have to do it. Carmen, you're so welcome. I'm so glad glad you were here live. It just makes my day. Amazing. Any other questions? If there are no other questions, I'm going to go at lunchtime. So I've got like an avocado in the fridge and some tuna. I'm being healthy at the moment. So I'll go and eat those. But if, like I say, if you guys want anything specific, if you want me to talk about anything specific in my business, if you want me to tell you how things work or show you any of the insights, let me know, because I'm always happy to be open and honest about it. I'm always happy to be totally transparent about it, you know, and I appreciate you guys coming and hanging out in the group and kind of being so awesome. So always happy to help if there's anything you need. But right now, I think there are no more questions, so I'm going to go eat my avocado and tuna, woohoo, and then prepare for this afternoon, because Wednesday afternoons are going to be client calling and discovery calls for me. So if there's anything you guys need, let me know, and I will see you next time.